just think it's a ludicrous price.
This horse is galloping all over Jonbon.
Definitely seen. Oh no, we're both agreeing.
I feel like we're seeing the best of Jonbon now. Hello and welcome along, as usual, to the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel for our weekend preview of some of the top action we've got in the horse racing world from both Ascot and Haydock, along with our international segments and best bets. As always, I'm joined by Jack Dawling. As always, Jack, how are you, mate? How are things? And a good weekend coming up. Hopefully we get some racing.
Yeah, no, I'm well, thank you, Sam. Hope you're well. It's it's a good weekend of racing here and abroad. As you said, there's Meydan Hong Kong with some decent action abroad as well as here. Looks like we're definitely going to get some action here. The frost seems to have subsided. So yeah, looking forward to getting stuck into it.
Absolutely, yeah, should be a good weekend of action. And as always, do like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Like I say, we're on that journey now to 3,000 subscribers, so do help us get us there by hitting that button down below. It's free to do so and it's easy to do. Right, Jack, into the show then. And we won't talk too much about big topics. We like to have a big topic each week, but I just want to give a quick mention to, well, a couple of the Donnelly horses, really. The first of which I want to talk about is Salvator Mundi, who won the Moscow Flyer at the weekend and has divided a few opinions with regards to this favouritism for the Supreme Novice Hurdle. I think the horse around 7-2 best price for that race now. And it's one of those, the question's being asked, Jack, was that performance good enough to win a Supreme? Some people are saying no, but then other people are saying, well, what else is there in the Supreme that can beat this horse? It's not a good division. What do we actually make of that race on Sunday, and what do we make about the Supreme at this stage?
Yeah, it's I suppose I understand why he's favourite, and I put a tweet out and got some dividing responses, which was great to kind of discuss and look through and, of course, reply with and get a good conversation going. But for me, I understand that the case that no one else has really put their hand out so far, but nonetheless, I still think 3-1, 7-2 is far too short for what he's shown in comparison to the others. The time wasn't any good. Obviously, to the eye, it wasn't very good, and it was backed up on the clock. Of course, the maiden hurdle on the same day, won by Kapajai Pike. Kapajai Pike was quicker from the last to the line. Pretty much came over in identical time. Salvator Mundi, I think they were 4 lengths quicker over the first 3, but then they were 2.5 lengths behind by the third last. They were both very muddling affairs, but there was nothing that really filled you with confidence for Salvator Mundi, and I just think it's a ludicrous price. I understand, as I say, I understand the argument that he deserves favouritism, but I don't think he deserves to be any shorter than 6-1, 7-1. Romeo Coolio seems like a more rock solid novice, albeit Gordon Elliott probably doesn't have the best record in it, and we still got the Dublin Racing Festival to come in 3 weeks. So I think it's ludicrous to tell you the truth, Sam. I don't think he's a very worthy favourite whatsoever, and I would be shocked if he's markedly shorter than 3-1 come the day.
Absolutely, yeah. It was interesting hearing Patrick Mullins' interview on Sky just with regards to Salvator Mundi, just saying that the horse was far too keen in the race. And look, he didn't jump well, we know that, but you can tell he has this massive engine, and Patrick Mullins said that. And look, whether he can get his jumping up to gear, maybe he is a top quality horse, and we're not doubting that. He could potentially be that, but based on that performance on Sunday, he wasn't quite there where we probably expect a Supreme winner or a potential Supreme winner to be. And it could be one of those years, Jack, like I say, we could have a big price Supreme winner. We've had them in the past where, something just comes out and we weren't really thinking too much about it, and it goes and wins the race. So who knows? You have to wait and see. The other one I just want to mention was Lou Lamba, who hasn't run yet and is potentially going to run on Saturday. This horse has suddenly had a backing last week from 8-1 into 4-1 for the Triumph Hurdle, based off a few rumours, but one of the ones that I heard and saw was this horse is galloping all over Jonbon on the Nicky Henderson at Seven Barrows, the gallops there. And it just kind of comes to that fact, Jet, that people backing this horse at 4-1 based on a quote like that and information like that may need to get their head screwed on a little bit, because you can't be backing a horse at 4-1 who's come over from Auteuil after a race where it wasn't actually that overly impressive to watch. There's obviously something there, but if you're backing this horse at 4-1, then you've got to rethink a few things.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're a French form expert and he's put up a huge figure and you've got something a little bit more concrete than he's beaten horse A, B or C on the gallops. Yeah, it's not really my way of punting. I know it's not your way of betting whatsoever, but fair play to people who have got involved in that price. I think it's a quick way to the poorhouse if you are doing that. in the National Hunt game, especially backing debutantes for a triumph. But fair play to those who have, and I wish them the best of luck.
Absolutely, yeah. Wait to see Lambert out. Maybe he is just a superstar and is the next Sergino, Shishkin, whatever. But yeah, we will wait and see. Hopefully this weekend. Right, Jack. Into the previews. Then we've got 4 races we're going to cover. We like to say we've got some top class racing, so we will preview 4 races this week, and we'll rattle through them. And we'll start off at Ascot with 2 races, Jack. The first, of which is the 140 there, which is the BetMGM Mares Hurdle Grade 2, just shy of 2 miles. And Willie Mullins and Paul Townend are over. Cargis is the 8-13 favourite. Take No Chances is 9-2. Casanamento 10-1. Oh Betty's 12-1. All the Glory 14s. Power Puri 28. And Brenda's asking the outside the lot at 80-1. It's an interesting one, this, Jack, because we haven't seen Cargis since May time, where she won at Punchdown. Now, she was second, obviously, at the Cheltenham Festival to Majbra, and then second to Sergino at Atri, who are both now at the top of the market for the Arkle. So turns out that the horse was beaten by 2 very, very good horses, and has shortened in the last few days for the Mares Hurdle itself. I've got a feeling that she's probably going to be too good. Will I be playing her off a long break? Probably not. And like I said, I don't like to get involved at these really short prices, especially being backed into 8-13 now for this race. But there's nothing really I could take her on with, so I'm happy to let her go and win this. What did you make of this one?
Yeah, she should really, you'd hope, be head and shoulders above the rest, shouldn't she? As you said, the form behind Sergino Majbra, winning the champion 4-year-old hurdle ahead of Bottler's Secret, who, albeit hasn't done too much since, I still think he's a decent horse in his own right. You'd like to think she's better than this lot. There's the question mark of stepping up, I suppose, after a bit of a break against some more seasoned rivals. But look, as you say, I'd like to think she can stick her neck out. I think Betty can run a decent race. I was quite impressed with her win at Kempton on 27th there. So hopefully she can run her into a place. She's around 12-1 with Ben Jones on board. I think she might have a little bit more to give. I thought they'd probably go down a bit of a handicap route, but I reckon she might be able to grab a place behind Cargis, but it looks like it is Cargis for the taking.
Yeah, I bet he won for those places potentially, but yeah, Cargies should be fairly solid here and could even shorten even more, depending on how good the performance is for that Mares Hurdle. So we'll have to wait and see, and we'll get on to race 2 quick, Jack, because we're going to see a lot of viewers, and a few viewers will want to be backing sort of doubles and trebles with some of these favourites this week. And the 3:32, the Clarence House Chase, the Grade 1 on the weekend, 2 mile, 1 furlong, and Jonbon is back in action, 8-11 here for Nick Henson and Nico de Boinville. And Ergamine is 9-4, Edwardstone 14-1, and Boot Hill 20-1. It's always a fairly small field for this race, so I was kind of expecting this. And Jonbon versus Ergamine was the battle we were looking for, Jack. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I feel like Jonbon this season has kind of peaked. I know this horse has been winning plenty, over the last few years and has so many wins to his name, but I feel like we're seeing the best of Jonbon now and seeing him as a real champion. He's just becoming tougher and tougher to beat. And facing an Ergamine here who's an 11-year-old now, which is crazy to say. It makes me feel old, actually, because I feel like an Ergamine's been around for quite a while. But it is the battle of the weekend. He was very good at Cork and Ergamine, but is facing a Jonbon who I do think is just getting better and better over fences.
Yeah, he should be winning. Edwardstone, of course, is an 11-year-old himself. He's showed he retains all the ability in Ergamine. It was nice to see him have that, I suppose, that enthusiasm still at Cork last time out. Does he still have that joie de vivre of jumping fences and being able to lay down a mark to Jonbon? I don't think so. I think it's a great race, mind you, and it's funny, 11-8 on about Jonbon. I actually thought he'd be a little bit shorter than that, to tell you the truth. And it might sound a little bit stupid saying that because an Ergamine's in there, but I think it'd be a hell of a performance. Jonbon now, it looks like he's more consistent than he has been. He's going to put up a rating in the high 160s, even low 170s, and it's going to be lay down a proper marker and be a proper test for an Ergamine and Edwardstone. I'd rather be backing Edwardstone at 14-1 than an Ergamine at 9-4. Put it that way. And I think probably the play I'll be taking is, I haven't actually seen what price it is at the moment, but looking at Edwardstone 6 times the price of an Ergamine, I'll probably either take Edwardstone in a match bet with the Ergamine or even Edwardstone without Jonbon. I think he's just been a bit more battle hardened over the past couple of years. I don't think his run in the Desert Orchid was all that bad. He fell at Sandown, of course, on his penultimate run, but I think he might be able to grab second place. I think Jonbon's going to be too good, and I think Edwardstone is probably going to be the play from a betting point of view to finish second.
Yeah, I think Jonbon, like I say, I think he's really classy and has always been. I just think we're seeing the best of him now.
Mm.
And what I will say is that he is short this week, and a few bookmakers may even offer that Clarence House and Champion Chase double odds, which some people will fancy. And I do think he probably will win the Champion Chase. I just do. I think
Yeah.
the British this season have a good squad going to war at the Cheltenham Festival, it seems. And I think this will be one of their winners, especially in one of the big races.
Mm.
So yeah, I think Jonbon will win it. Interesting to hear that Jack likes the match bet with Edwardstone and Energumene. It's I feel like they might actually finish in market order, but potentially Edwardstone
Mm.
could show his class. They're both 11, Energumene and Edwardstone, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Just quickly with the
Go on, Jack.
champion chase, you do think Chonbon's going to win it?
Yeah,
You do. Just as simple as that. You think
yeah.
he's going to go and win it?
I think so. I mean, watching Gaelic Warriors run before Christmas, I thought, everyone was kind of hyping him up as the one to beat in the champion chase, obviously the ARCA winner. But it was probably not the best ride. If Patrick Mullins could let a ride back, he probably would. But I do think that Jonbon he's just looking really classy, Jack. I really do
Mm.
think so. I think Gaelic Warrior will and Marine Nationale, who were both second and third in that race to the Joseph O'Brien horse, forgetting the name now. But I think that they have got a little bit to find on Jonbon, who just has that experience. I think he jumps so solidly and he could just out jump them at Cheltenham. He's had more experience at Cheltenham than both of them as well. So we'll just wait and see. But I mean, in your eyes, do you feel like there is some potential of Jonbon, having a challenge in that champion chase at the moment?
I do. It's just where's it coming from? Like he's 9 to 4 at the
Okay.
moment. There is probably arguments he can be a touch shorter than 9 to 4, as you say. He seems like
Yes.
he's rock hard consistent. He has definitely taken a step up, but it's just him around Cheltenham. I wouldn't be laying or backing him at that price at the moment. I know it's just sitting on the fence completely, and I don't know if Saturday's really going to shed any light on that. If he goes and wins by a few lengths, there'll be people trying to read into it and pick holes into it. But he's probably going to go off 6 to 4 on. So it's an interesting one for me. I'm probably leaning on taking him on in the champion chase at the moment than actually being with him. But
Okay.
yeah, it'd be fascinating to see how he goes on Saturday.
We'll wait and see, but yeah, people will just be wanting to see him put in a solid jumping
Mm.
performance and winning fairly comfortable stars. So, like I say, wait till Saturday to find out. We've just been discussing the Supreme at the top of the show, and we'll talk about the first race we're covering from Haydock, which is the 155, which is the Sky Bet Supreme Trial Rossington Main Novices Hurdle. This is a Grade 2, again, just shy of 2 miles. And Royal Infantry for the Skeltons is the 6-4 on favourite. Peacenik 7-1, Dedicated Hero 8-1. Clunaria is 16-1. Walking on a Dream 16-1. Got a Dream is 40-1. And Famous Liss is the 100-1 outsider of the field. So much talk, Jack, about Skelton's novice herders. I mean, obviously, the new line being the big one, being the talk of the town. I did watch the Sky show that was on yesterday with, I think it's Unbridled with Matt Chapman and Paddy Brennan. They were talking to Harry Skelton and they said the Supreme wasn't out the question for the new line. That option will be there, but the Turner seems the preferred place. But potentially they've got a Supreme horse in this horse here, Royal Infantry. Do we think this horse is up to the level potentially of, causing some trouble to something like Salvator Mundi?
Um, I don't think so. I know I've just ridden off
Okay.
Salvatore Monday as, as the supreme winner, but I really want to take on Royal Infantry here, especially at the price. Yes, he was impressive at Chepstow. Yes, he got the job done at Haydock when he made all there. I just think we've definitely seen a few pound more than him than we have from the rest. I just think perhaps the rest in this field, one of them can take another step forward. And I actually quite like Dedicated Hero at 8s. I've definitely seen. Oh no, we're both agreeing. I've definitely seen worse win bets than 8s about Dedicated Hero. I thought the win at Kelso was really impressive. The time stacked up,
Yes.
Cracking Rhapsody won on the same card. I think he's probably run to around about 130 there. I don't think he's actually that far off what Royal Infantry is at the moment, and I think he's actually got a lot of room to improve. He's only had the 2 starts over hurdles. I thought he took a huge step forward last time out at Kelso, and I think 8-1's actually a pretty big price, so I'm quite keen to take on Royal Infantry here with Dedicated here, and I think 8-1's a pretty solid price for a win bet with only 7 runners.
Yeah, I think you're pretty spot on with most of my notes. I thought Ryan Manor gave this horse a cracking ride at Kelso last time, delivered him at the last and just drew clear. He jumped slightly right at the last. I don't know if you watched it back, Joe. Jumped slightly right. I don't think that's a major concern. I think that was just a one-off, but they're around Haydock here. And the one thing you've got to note is that we're going to be on potentially really soft conditions at Haydock, but the top three in the market have all won on soft last time out. So it's going to be fascinating to see, but I genuinely do think this horse is taking leaps and leaps forward. An RPR of 129 last time out, and like I say, I think Ryan Manny, since he's come out of retirement, I seem to see some of the best of Ryan Manny as a jockey. I think he's a terrific jockey, and that win at Kelso, it was so eye-catching for me to look at this and go, Royal Infantry at 6-4 on, worth taking on. Is there anything to take it on with? And this was the one that I fell down on, and Dedicated Hero will be the one for me. So an agreement there around 8-1, a cracking little win bet there, Jack, from both of us. So we'll wait and see. And if it's your best bet, then we're going to clash there as well. Spoiler alert. Let's go into the 2:30 at Haydock then. This is their highlight on the card, which is the Peter Marsh Handicap Chase. 3 mile, 1.5 furlongs, and Royal Pagaille is looking to get the three crowns in this race with winning 2021, 2022, and then obviously this year looking for a 9-4, currently the favourite in this race. Top weight, Mr. Vango is 5-2, Trelawn is 9-2, I Will Do It 9-1, Imagine 10-1, Richmond Lake is 16-1, Chambard 30-1, and Bill Baxter 33-1. Fascinating this, Jack. Royal Pagaille, top weight, giving £26 to Mr. Vango, essentially. What do we make of this one?
It's the weekend for the 11-year-olds, isn't it? Energumane and Royal Pagaille, the 11-year-olds coming to the fore. Yeah, he did it carrying 11 stone 10 in 2022. I really want to take him on, though. I don't think there's too much to take him on with, except I will. No. I know you're keen on one in here, so I'll let you make the case properly. But I think the one almost by virtue is Mr. Vango, but after winning the London National, did it impressively enough. I thought it was nice in game when I think it was 5 out that he jumped it and got it a little bit wrong. But I think if he can get into a nice rhythm, he's pretty much got two stone off Royal Pagaille. I think he's probably the main one to lay down the gauntlet to Royal Pagaille, and I wouldn't be surprised to actually see him going off favourite come Saturday.
Yeah, I think Royal Pagaille, you've got a horse here who is a proven Grade 1 performer, who, loves the mud and loves Haydock. We know that from the Betfair Chase in November. But is taking on a horse here who potentially is still improving, who won a staying contest on soft ground last time in the London National. And I noted it down here, Jack, that jump at the 5 out. And you can probably, it was a bad mistake, obviously, but you can excuse a horse of a bad mistake in a long-distance marathon staying chase, especially at Sandown with the fences down that back. So it is a really interesting one. I do think, like Royal Pagaille, he is a top quality horse, but I feel like the weight may get to him even on this soft conditions. And Mr. Vango, I just think he is taking steps forward now, and I just think he could outstay Royal Pagaille in the finish here, especially if it does get testing and it is run at a decent clip. So, yeah, Royal Pagaille, he is the one with a bit of value. I think 5-2 is a fair bet, and that'll be the one for me. Is that kind of the way you looked at it, Jack?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I had to look at it kind of twice because I forget Mr. Vango's only had 5 starts over fences. It's crazy. He's a 9-year-old.
Yeah,
he's only had 9 career starts.
Yeah, he's just unexposed, and like I say a horse is taking step forwards as a 9-year-old is a rare thing to say, but I genuinely think he is, and I think he could actually get better and will go up the weights, and who knows where he'll end up towards the back end of the season. So there we go, 4 races preview. Let us know down in the comments whether you're backing any doubles, trebles, any singles that you fancy. Like I say, we do read all of the comments. Now into the anything else segment of the show. I haven't actually had too much time to look at some of the Winter Millions stuff, Jack, over the weekend. Obviously, we've got Windsor Friday and Sunday with Ascot in between. Was there anything that caught your eye out of some of the small fields, which were a little bit questionable for the Winter Millions? Obviously, good prize money on offer, but was there anything that caught the eye?
Yeah, I've actually gone for 2 in the bigger fields. I love getting stuck into the handicap hurdles. Friday at Windsor, the 3:35, the Sovereign Handicap Hurdle. Secret Squirrel is 7-1, and I think that's actually a juicy little win bet myself. I think there's definitely more to come from him off 126. Last time out at Ascot, he fell at the last when he was probably going to finish in 3rd behind Cabral de Matan and Fiercely Proud, but they went fast early doors. He was in the leading trio there. He was definitely faring best of those that were prominent. They finished at 96% finishing speed. Hopefully, if he is ridden aggressively, hopefully he won't be taken on too much in this. But he's £8 better off with Cabral de Matan, and he was 5th when he was favourite in that really strong race last year at Sandown, that novice handicap in the finale, which featured Be Aware, Steel Ally, Fiercely Proud, and Active Authority have all gone and franked that form pretty nicely since. He's only off a mark of 126, I say, and 7-1 I think is a decent win bet, and I'll probably be taking him in a double with one at Ascot, the 250 at Ascot on Saturday, the Holloway's handicap hurdle, where Outerbelly is 6-1, and I think Harry Fry would have been weighing up whether to keep him at 2 miles or step him up to a more 2.5 miles here. And his only start over a trip like this, he absolutely bolted up at Carlisle over 2 mile free in a novice hurdle. He was third in graded company at Ascot over 2 miles on good ground behind Lucia and Impose Trois. I thought his reappearance at Doncaster was pretty promising last time out. It looked a little bit sharp for him, and he flew home to finish second there when he was beaten as favourite. I think 6-1's a decent price, and I'll be taking them both in a double for the elsewhere bet. So I'm actually quite keen on both of those. I think they both have a decent shout as win bets.
There we go. A couple of others for the week, and then from Jack. And then, as always, we like to have an international racing segment of the show where I've actually got something to put up rather than just your Hong Kong fancy this week. I've actually got a fancy in Meydan on Friday. It's a handicap there over a mile on the dirt because I absolutely love the dirt there. And I've just checked the market again. I've just updated it, and my horse has actually been backed. It's not my money, let me tell you that as of yet. But there is a decent handicap there. And the horse that I like is a horse called Gamekeeper, who I've got on my notes here at 17-2, but is actually 7-1 now. But I've been tracking this horse since the back end of last year and just keeping an eye. I haven't backed this horse as of yet, but has been running over 6 and 7 furlongs and has just looked a little bit one pace, especially last time out over 6 furlongs, looked really one pace. But they're now stepping this horse up to a mile. I'm really keen for this horse to show some improvement for going back up to a mile again. And they've taken off Conor Beasley as a jockey, and they've put Miguel Barcelona back on board. And Jack, you know how much I love Barcelona on the dirt out there, but I do think this is a cracking bet. I think he's well handicapped with a mark of 83, and I think this could take some beating. So that 17-2 on my notes can be gone. At the time of recording, the horse is actually 7-1. So Gamekeeper in the 3:15 at Meydan for me. And Jack, plenty of good quality action at, is it Shartin this weekend?
Yeah, Shartin this weekend. 2 Group 1s taking centre stage. 2 pretty short price favourites, so not one of those if you want to get involved for an outsider, but probably one of those if you want to be doubling up or adding them to trebles or fourfolds there. You've got Kaying Rising, hoping to continue his rise in the Centenary Sprint Cup. He's about 3-1 on at the moment. And Voyage Bubble, after winning the Hong Kong Mile, he's about 6-4 on at the moment for the Stewards Cup on Sunday. So probably those two, I think they're both going to go and win, and hopefully win in good style. Voyage Bubble definitely the more vulnerable of the two. But if you go a little bit later in the card, it is race 10 that we go to. Number 2 it is. Zach Purton's mount, Stunning Peach, has to come from stall 12. But if you remember, Stunning Peach was ex-Joseph O'Brien's Islands in the Stream, who was second behind Los Angeles in a Group 1 out in France. He looks like he's hopefully going to go better, stepped up to 10 furlongs at the weekend. He had a really eye-catching reappearance over a mile this season. Didn't go so well over 1800 at Happy Valley last time out. He looks like he's a bit of a quirky horse. He tried to drop Zach Purton at a trial earlier in the season, had a little bit of a problem since there, but hopefully he's primed, ready to stake his claim for the Hong Kong Derby over 10 furlongs on Sunday, and I think he'll be an okay price because Mickley, of course, ex-Ed Bethel trained Mickley, is also in the race. So Stunning Peach, race 10, or Islands in the Stream, whatever you like to call him, is where we're going to be looking for probably our best bet at Shartin on Sunday.
There you go, one from Shartin, from Jack. Yeah, cracking action at Shartin on Sunday. Do tune in for that. And if you've never watched Hong Kong races, it's cracking to watch. You can catch that on Sky. And I will say that Jax mentions that Purton. You will realise after watching Hong Kong races that Purton does dominate out in Hong Kong. He really does. So yeah, cracking watch. Looking forward to that on Sunday. Right, time for the best bet then, Jack. I mentioned I've already given my best bet kind of in Dedicated Hero in that 155 Supreme trial at Haydock. Was that going to be your best bet, or have you got something else for me?
It wasn't going to be my best bet, so are you going to stick with? Are you going to stick with him?
I'll have Dedicated Hero then, yeah.
Perfect. I'm going to go. The best bet is going to be an each way double on the other two that I put up. I'll say Outerbelly will be the best on the Saturday Ascot 250, and stick him in an each way double with Secret Squirrel, easy for me to say, at Windsor on a Friday.
That'll be a nice price if that lands. We'll be cheering that next week for next week's show. And Jack and I will be back next week as always, Thursday 6 p.m. here on the Next Gen Racing YouTube channel. We will start. We're not quite there yet, but we will start doing an anti-post look and have an anti-post show out on Mondays, which will be a short, very snappy show previewing a couple of races. So do look forward to that coming up very soon here on the channel. But as always, we thank you so much for the support. Do like, comment, share, and subscribe.